It's time to focus on the things you need, the things you deserve. You deserve a healthy body, supplements that get you moving and keep you moving, that make you feel good, look good, do good. And they shouldn't contain GMOs, artificial ingredients, or heavy metals, ever. Supplements that are clinically studied, use proven absorption technologies, are designed by scientists, and are ethically sourced and produced. Supplements with everything you need, nothing you don't. You deserve a company that you can trust, that's dedicated to safe manufacturing practices and third-party testing, that ensures the highest quality of effectiveness from extraction of ingredients all the way to the composition of the packaging. Wait a second. You deserve to see the process. You deserve a company led by a CEO with a deep belief in the power of people, dedicated to inspiring entrepreneurs to achieve success. A company with a phytonutrient chemist and expert on natural molecules who is obsessed with human health and has your best interest in mind to design its products. A board comprised of talented doctors from around the world. You deserve to be surrounded by people you trust and look up to. Empowered ambassadors that inspire wellness every day. Leaders who are rooting for you to be the best version of yourself. A community that works hard and plays hard. You deserve to experience adventures that take you around the world, and you deserve to be recognized for your hard work. It's time to get what you deserve. It's time to shift your focus. 3.
Hello, everybody. Good morning to some of you. Good evening to some of you, and welcome to our live Zoom this evening. Welcome to the people who are listening to this replay, who got this recording from somebody that cares about you. Somebody sent you this recording because they care about you and they care about your wellness. I just love that video, and I want to dive into that today about why I love this company. Also, my name is Jessica Johnston, and I have been focused on wellness for probably a really good 25 years. And even prior to that, as a teenager and as a schoolgirl, I was always focused on health, fitness. I was an athlete. I was part of sports programs. I competed competitively in different sports. And then that just became a lifestyle for me. And I wanted to also make sure that even post-university, post-college, I wanted to continue to take care of myself because there were no more sports teams for me to play on. And so I did just that. I exercised regularly. I would say I'm better at exercising than I was at eating my whole foods and watching my diet. I wasn't as good at that part, but I was religious about going to the gym and making sure that I stayed fit, maybe going for runs and just trying to keep my body in a healthy state. So surprise, surprise, after college, I ended up, because of stress-induced body contamination induced, I ended up talking to my doctors, who said, "It doesn't look good, Jessica. You have a condition that is going to be with you for the rest of your life. And there was nothing you could have done to prevent this. It's the time. It's just gotten into your body, and it's going to wreak havoc on you." That basically means it's going to come in and try to take over and try to ruin my health and ruin my quality of life. And so after a period of time that we were very nervous as a family, I was engaged to be married and very interested and excited to raise a family. But my body was severely compromised. And I spent a few years in and out of doctor's offices looking for every solution, and wound up having some pretty traumatic experiences during that time frame. I learned an awful lot about my body. And I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse. I am not a nutritionist. I'm not even educated in this area. but I am a health survivor who has been through an awful lot, enough that I knew I had to find a better remedy and a better solution than staying in a doctor's office for the rest of my life and risking this condition coming back over and over again. And so I got really serious during the next 10 years. During the next 10 years, I got serious about investigating nutrients, investigating minerals, vitamins, food sources, plants, about what would be good for my body so that I did not have to continue a quality of life where I was worried constantly about what I did eat, how that would affect me, how that would make me feel, how much pain I would be in. And so later in my early 30s, so about 10 years, over 10 years of battling this, and just altering every day the different things that I had to do. It seems like this condition was really running my life instead of the other way around. And I said, I've got to take control of this. And I want to tell you that about 13, 14 years ago in research, I discovered this concept that completely changed my quality of life. And it's what we're going to talk about a little bit here. I did bring some guests on here with me tonight that are going to share at the end, after I tell a little bit more of my story. And they're going to share about why they have chosen to also be a part of this. We all have a little bit of a different story, a little bit of a different background. We come from all parts of the country and the globe. And so I've got some great, great people to share that have a lot of knowledge and have been a big part of 3 International now, for some of us a year and a half, almost 2 years. So I discovered this concept about 13 years ago, and I couldn't stop talking about it, and I'm still talking about it today, because no one can convince me that this concept of boosting our immunity, improving our immunity, just as naturally as we can make a very dramatic difference in our health. And I experienced it myself, to say my immune system is out of whack. I was told by the doctors I had severe inflammation in my intestines, and other places in my body. That was leading to the discomfort that I had, some of the challenges I had, the lack of sleep, the lack of energy that I had during the day, mental clarity. I couldn't focus as well. But every day I was battling with something physically. And what happened in that was that there became a mental and emotional battle also. And so I know some people, if you have been through some health tragedy, maybe some of you minor, some of you maybe more significant like mine, that you have also come to understand the mental and emotional toll that that can take on you. And so I went in circles for years and thought, how can I get better? The doctors just keep giving me these treatments and these ideas of synthetics that they say are going to help me, but I knew that that was not going to be the right answer for the rest of my life. And so I was one of the very few patients in my state here of North Carolina that said, I'm not going to keep doing this, so I have to find a better way. And I discovered this concept of loading our body with good, clean nutrients. And then ultimately, I think the key part is taking out the bad things of our body that aren't supposed to be there, the invaders, the chemicals, the toxins, the poisons, the impurities, the things that are not supposed to be in our bloodstream. It's this concept of detoxification or cleansing. I use those words hand in hand. Cleansing, which derives from cleaning up the blood, cleaning up the cells. Okay, so I discovered this concept of detox. I didn't know how to do that prior. I wasn't sure how to find that. And I certainly had no idea how to detox my body at a cellular level versus a detox that was maybe organ specific. So there were detoxes that existed for the colon or the liver or the kidneys, specifically the intestines. But I said, how do I get full body relief from inflammation and swelling? and cellular detox became the biggest thing on my radar, and it has been ever since. And I have been able to go on and help thousands and thousands and thousands of people just feel better and change their life through simple detoxification. Okay, so I'll talk about that just a little bit. What I want to make sure I tell you first is that this company does not make any claims that we cure you, that we are treating anything, that we can heal your body. It makes no claims for that. But what we can say is that when we load our body with great nutrients that actually absorb into our cells, they absorb at a cellular level. And at the same time, we help the body remove toxins from the system, impurities from the system. Everything can rebalance. Scientifically, inside the body, we get this little exchange and we can reduce some acid and inflammation out of the system, and we can improve what nutrients can do for our system, whether it's our organs, our blood, our brain, and ultimately there's some side effects from doing that. And so my quality of life was changed 13 years ago when I discovered that natural ingredients was all I needed. Personally, my own testimonial was all I needed to feel very much better in my life. And so I got pretty excited about sharing that. And I'm so happy today to be part of 3 International. I am a very strong ambassador of this brand because I believe so much in what this company is doing with bioavailable nutraceuticals. Those are some big words. What do they mean? Bioavailable, nutrients that are able to be absorbed into the cells. And then nutraceuticals, guess what? These are not just vitamins and minerals and supplements. That's not what these are anymore. We are a step above. We are a grade above everyone else in this wellness space because we are very advanced as far as the nutraceutical space. What does that mean? We have products that can treat us almost as if it's medicine. So they have medicinal value. They have medicinal purpose in them, but every ingredient comes from our earth. It's something natural that comes from our earth. And we can curate these ingredients and we can put them together in a recipe and turn them into a product. And those products can help us feel like we are supposed to be feeling. Okay, with nothing being healed except the body being able to start acting like the miracle that it is. Now, not everybody has a massive health challenge, and I hope many of you don't. But at the end of the day, if you live in society, if you eat food, if you breathe the air, if you use cosmetics, if you use cleaning supplies in your house, your body, your lungs, your skin is getting exposed to these impurities. And so our body naturally tries to clean those impurities out and get rid of them every day, all day. Our body works to clean it out. Our body works to protect itself. And so if we are stressed and we continue eating and we're not sleeping good and we are breathing the air and drinking the contaminated water and eating the contaminated food, our body is constantly having to fight this. I really believe that everybody I know, everyone I know needs these products here with 3 because everyone has some sort of an acidic state. Some people are more acidic than others, meaning some people are more toxic than others. Some people hold more toxicity. Maybe they don't exercise. Maybe they eat very poorly. And it's my understanding that only about 20% of people consistently take great care of themselves. And that's probably a little generous of a statistic. Okay, so we know people aren't exercising the way they should. We know people aren't eating the way that they should, me included. And so I have got this product line with 3 International that has helped my body continue to absorb great nutrients that I can't buy at the store, that I can't shop at the store. I can't serve myself, my family, a plate of food that gives me what 3 International can give me in these nutraceuticals. And so things like lion mane mushroom, making sure I get zinc every day, making sure I get vitamin D every day. And oh my goodness, dandelion root, ginger, turmeric, the things that are so good for us that are very hard to shop for and very hard to find in our food sources. And so we get those all through 3, and we have the most beautiful products that are for foundational health that help the body operate as the miracle that it is. Our bodies have just changed over time because of all these things that I've been talking about here. So now we have this solution where we can improve the body's alkalinity. We can get the body away from the acidic state into more alkaline state. And a lot of things happen when we do that, when we transform our body, even from a science standpoint. We may start feeling more energized, more mental clarity. We may be sleeping more soundly and for longer periods of time at night. I know for sure, I can tell you the energy has been awesome. And you guys always say I have so much energy. I can't imagine not having these products. In fact, I'm looking at my Vitality right here. I must have forgotten these today. So I will have to wait till tomorrow, because if I take them now, I'll have too much energy. It's the evening here in the United States, so I'll wait till tomorrow to take those. But I love my Vitality. It's the best omega I've seen, and I've been researching omegas for 25 years. So I just got really excited about the quality of these products at 3, what they have to offer, and foundationally, they haven't missed anything. If we can improve our immunity, with nutrient loading and detoxing, why wouldn't we do that? So in my journey, I have seen definitely a change of physically how I feel, mentally how I feel, emotionally I feel more safe that my body isn't going to have a tragedy again. I feel more confident in who I am with my health. And thank you for my friends recently who have said, you are really glowing. We can tell that the skincare is working for you. So thank you for that compliment. I do use the skincare every day. I was not much of a skincare routine person before 3, and now I can't get enough of our skincare. I just mist it on all day and rub it on, sometimes more than twice a day. Okay, so maybe that's why I'm having this transformation. But before I come to some of our guests, I want to tell you, I got excited about 3. I've been with this company for 2 years. I got excited to be an ambassador for them because they covered everything I needed to see to become part of this company, which was our antioxidants, our anti-inflammatories, our vitamin and minerals, our omega that I mentioned to you guys. I was even excited to see collagen, not even from a cosmetic standpoint. Collagen's it's a hot product right now, but it was a marine-based collagen. I was excited to see that, not even so much for skincare, which is our largest organ. Collagen speaks to that, our skin, our hair, our nails, some of our external things. I was excited for collagen for joint support. And I love giving that to people that are a little bit older that might have some aches and pains. And so usually in a matter of a week or 2, they feel less of that. Okay, and even student athletes that can use our collagen in recovery. Our Revive anti-inflammatory product, same thing. We can help relieve people's swelling and discomfort that they have in their body. Additionally, our immune product, I wish I didn't wait 2 months to start this product. I put that one on the shelf and I said, I'm going to get to that one later. Little did I know, until I did enough research, that immune product was helping to rebalance my gut biome, which is what I had struggled with for pretty much my entire adult life. And since I started Immune 18 months ago, I won't miss a day with that immune product. So I just love that so much. And of course, our Purify, which I will say this before I come to my friends and hear about their favorite product. Purify is our detoxification capsule with so many great, beautiful ingredients that can gently help the body. The body is always trying to remove these impurities. This assists the body to do it better, and we can detox, and people start to feel a difference. Not even just immunity and clarity, but also we see people have some weight loss testimonials, because if you take the impurities and the toxins out of the system, weight loss can be a side effect of detox. And so we have some people that have had some beautiful weight loss experiences here with 3. So we cover the bases here. And then don't get me started on the skincare. I just love it. The proof is in how my skin glows with very little makeup on. I'm so happy I don't have to wear as much makeup. I can just go out and be natural most days, which is so wonderful to be a woman and have that be one of my testimonials. So I am going to invite some people. It's not just my story that's so important. I'm here with these friends because I have shared this experience with them, or share this experience with another friend of mine who introduced these new friends. We are now connected in this wellness world. We work together every day to share 3 International with more people. So I'm going to bring on Chanya Sae-Eaw. Right now, I've got Jeremie McClean up in Canada. We've got a Canadian friend on the phone, and Christie Fisher, who happens to be local. Chanya is more north here in the USA. Christie Fisher, who's more local, I could probably drive to her house in about 45 minutes to an hour, so she's more local. So I spread us apart all over. But what I want to do, let me start with something, a story that's a little bit similar to mine. Different, but her and I connected so immediately in our health journey and our health challenges, and just understanding the concept of why nutraceuticals are so important, not just for us, but for anyone, even people with good health habits. We're going to go to Jeremie McClean shortly, who will tell you he's somebody that had better health habits than we did, and he's had a little different experience. But let me start with Christie Fisher. Christie, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I love your story, and what I would do is just ask you, tell us a little bit about your history, your background, why you feel like 3 is such a great solution for you.
Well, thank you, Jessica, very much. Yes, we do have similar stories, a little bit of a different outcome, but most of our journey has been pretty consistent together as far as our struggles with the same challenges and issues and quote unquote diagnosis. So for me, my look in my journey into wellness and fitness, actually, believe it or not, started when I was 20 years old. So it's been about literally 36 years. So you do the math. So it's been quite a long time. And that journey has evolved over time, from the fitness world to training to guiding people in that arena, to actually getting a degree in holistic wellness. And so that is what my degree is in currently. So I do have clients, et cetera, et cetera. So when I partnered with 3 International a little over maybe a year and almost a half ago, maybe, I thought that these products were a great asset to what I was already doing and offering the people who I was working with. Because I don't believe everybody is the same. Everybody has different challenges, different needs. And to be able to use such a high quality product that I know can benefit the majority of people and meet their needs, that was just a great bonus for me to add to what I was doing and the things that I was offering. And the results that came for me were incredible with gut health. And I will tell you, Purify is my favorite product. And I guess it's really because I'm a detox junkie. I love to detox. I totally love to detox. So that, like, if I did nothing, I would just detox, because that's just my thing. And I feel better when I do that. And I did start out initially not doing the recommended doses. I dosed myself the way I felt was appropriate for my body, because I knew how to do it, because that's part of what I'm trained in, with the challenges that I was having. So I did more of a functional medicine dose, even though I'm not a functional medicine doctor. I know how to do that. And so it just made me feel so good. And knowing people that were in that same category, knowing that I could help them, and in conjunction with using the other nutritional support pieces, was a huge bonus for me. So I'm so grateful to have these 3 products as a part of my arsenal.
Christie, I thought of you because when I we started to talk to you, I said, I actually want to know this woman's perspective of these products. I wanted to know your opinion of them. And we said, hey, can you take a look at this? Does this look like something that you would use? I knew that you were the most well-researched people I had ever met. We've known each other for more than 10 years now. And I knew that you were so well-researched and that you would give me some really honest, good feedback about this. I was delighted that you jumped in so fast. And then, of course, fingers crossed, I hope this works great for Christie. And here you are a year and a half later, you champion these products. You're also an ambassador for this brand. We tell people about it every week. And in fact, you've done a great job even training some people in our team to show them the power of what we have here. So your education is wonderful. Your experiences, while tragic for both of us in some instances, we are now thriving, and we know what to do. And thank goodness for 3. Thank goodness for these nutraceuticals. Christie, awesome, super powerful. Thank you for joining tonight. Now, on the flip side, so in the beginning, I thought, who do I know that's, into health and fitness? Who do I know that actually takes really good care of themselves, that's actually maybe used supplementation in the past, that knows more than I do? And Jeremie McClean, my friend in Canada, if you knew him, you would think, oh, he doesn't need these products, but I get to tell you differently. So you find somebody who's got a great physique, who takes good care of himself. His wife, as a trainer, he's always been around fitness. He's an avid mountain biker. And so, does he need these too? So I'd love for you to hear from somebody a little bit different and expand your horizon of who needs this. I think everybody does. Jeremie, welcome. Thank you for being here. Talk to me about 3, a little bit of your background and why you love being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jessica. And everybody that's watching this, whether it's, in the morning or the evening, whatever, welcome. And this is such an exciting company to be a part of. So my journey, my wellness journey is really nothing extraordinary as your typical, teenager, just kind of, full of energy, wild, just doing whatever I could do. And just wanted to, have a few sports I accelerate in and see how far that could go. And, with a couple of those, it was fun. And I got, some distance, had some fun with basketball, whatever, track a little bit. And as I got older, I realized, okay, you know what, there's really not going to be a future for me in any type of professional sports. And I'm totally cool with that. So I got more into lifestyle type sports. I packed up my bags from Eastern Canada and I headed out west. And I committed to just living that snowboarder life and just hiking and touring and that kind of thing. And let me tell you, I really wish 3 was around back then. I really do. Even though I was younger and had more energy and what have you, I could totally see where it would have benefited me. So, fast forward, guys, when I did eventually move back for family reasons, I kind of fell into line. What we do here is just you get a Good Life membership. You go to the gym 4 days a week. And that's how it works here. And so I started studying nutrition a lot more because there's a lot more demands in my life, just working like 40 hours a week. And I wanted energy to still get to the gym and get some kind of results. So I hired a trainer. She was a bodybuilder and she knew her stuff, when it came to hypertrophy and adding muscle and that sort of thing. So I'd go to the grocery store, go to the, the nutrition shop, and I'd load up on supplements. And I learned very quickly that you could get lost in that place trying to find what you need to find out about how to make it all work. And it's the Wild West. Nothing was regulated. So I eventually kind of got my bearings and I ended up putting on a bunch of muscle and being able to still be athletic and what have you. But I didn't want to compete. It was just not the life for me. And, fast forward a little further, I found my wife. She was a trainer who knew infinitely more about the human body, biomechanics and nutrition, had degrees and all this kind of stuff. So I checked my pride. I sat back and took notes. I became a good student for my wife. And what she realized is some things were missing from, my repertoire nutritionally. And this is why I was constantly sore. Things were clicking around in my body. Mobility was poor. And, really, she just pointed to a few ingredients, a few nutritionals that I had to get my hands on. And it started making a bit of a difference. Again, it just wasn't easy to incorporate into my life. However, when 3 came around, I connected with Jessica and she showed me this jewel of a company. The certifications just hit hard. I was like, wow, this company is something that makes people sit up and take seriously. They're serious about nutrition. It's not a game for them. This is real life. And I admired that about them. I could just drop my shoulders, relax, and introduce this to anybody I knew, particularly my wife, my child, some products. And it had Jessica said, a lot of mountain biking was going on. I was doing some racing and I got a limp. I started limping, like a really bad limp that everyone was noticing. And nothing I took was taking care of this. I got a hold of a Revive, and I didn't know how potent this thing was going to be. I just knew where it fit into the whole deal, anti-inflammatory. I was like, okay, let's see how this thing happens. And I'd probably say inside of a week and a half, guys, that limp disappeared, and I didn't notice it. My wife was the one that pointed it out to me. Okay, she pointed us like, "You're not limping anymore." I'm like, I know. It's like, no, I had no idea. It's like, it's 3. Jessica said so. So, I just fell in love. I was like, because if the Revive is that potent, then Immune's going to be that potent. Everything's going to be that potent. And I hit jackpot. I was home free, entering into my 50th year, still being athletic, racing, playing basketball, all that kind of good stuff. I knew I'm in good hands. So, Jessica, hopefully I could just wrap that up in a nice little bow as far as like where I am these days and what impact these products have made. Never mind all the fun germs my 4-year-old brings into the house, but we got that covered too, with Immune. So I'm a happy camper right now.
I love it. You brought me credibility, Jeremie. And I said, if it's good enough for Jeremie McClean, it's good enough for me. And so there's the other side of it. Somebody who's very, very active, but look at the toll that it was also taking on his body. But I know we've talked about how your recovery is better. You can get back out on that bike. Your mobility has gotten better. And I know that immunity, we've talked many times about Via coming home with these germs. And as a new father exposed to these new things, and you feel so good about your body being protected too. So thank you. That's great. It encourages me to talk to more athletes, talk to people at the gym when I see them. And you see people with tape sometimes or a brace on or whatever it might be. It's always good to have a conversation with those people. So Jeremie, thank you. What a great story to share. I appreciate you being here with me. I want to end tonight with a friend, Chanya, who I wish we had 30 minutes with her because she will blow your mind about her understanding of why this works for people, why this is so good for us, and why she got around 3. So Chanya, what's really exciting is your background and what you know in your lifetime. You don't look like you're 40 years old, by the way, which we talked about before this call even started. You look so young and vibrant, youthful. You surprise us with your age, of course, but you have a very special background that now you're introduced to 3, and now you're one of our key trainers on these products. So just walk us through in a couple minutes all about Chanya.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the introduction and just the opportunity to share my story. My name is Chanya Sae-Eaw. I'm from Massachusetts in the United States, and I have a background in regenerative agriculture, and I've always focused my studies around agricultural systems thinking. So I've been farming since 2004, growing nutrient-dense produce and cut flowers. I had raised pigs and chickens, and I was always passionate about the connection between soil health and human health. When I grew up, my parents owned a restaurant, and I was always passionate about food, and then was very much do-it-yourself about everything, whether it was sewing my own clothes or growing my own food. So once I got into college, I really did a deep dive about where my food was coming from, and then I became a farmer and was very much financially struggling as a farmer, but super passionate about nature, community, nourishing produce, and soil health. So I had built a farm for about a decade, and then a series of family health events had caused a major change in my life. And my father had some health complications involving his heart, and I was the only self-employed sibling. So I took a very stable but unfulfilling job at his parking lot business. And the money was good, but it did not feed my soul the way that working with the earth did. So I went from like reading the weeds and the sunsets and just the natural rhythms of the earth by measuring time, and then switched over to a parking lot where I'm, there's a bunch of annual events and concerts at the convention center, and people go in the courthouse just all anxious and stressed out. And I was just so disconnected from my purpose. And then COVID hit, my farmers markets ended, the isolation just deepened, and I was without land, community, direction. And fast forward in 2023, things got lifted. I had been homeschooling my nephews at the time, and my partner had a near-death experience. He was impaled, and I was introduced to a collagen product for his scarring, although he did not really care about taking it. But the real shift came with my aunt, who was very private. She was diagnosed with cancer, and I had received my founder's pack the week that she had passed. And moving forward, her widower, my uncle, was also diagnosed with a separate type of cancer. So after I started taking these products, my heart started and my soul started to sing again. And they're just beautifully curated, and it restored my foundational nutrition, and my sense of purpose was reignited. So as everyone has mentioned, like, you can feel these products working in your body. And even if you can't, there's science behind the metrics. And that's what really has connected me back with my farming, actually, because I was involved with a nonprofit in 2008 called the Real Food Campaign, and it's now almost 20 years old, and they're now known as the Bionutrient Food Association, and they are setting the standards and the definition for nutrient density. So my passion is just reignited with the community, helping people foster connection, and just getting back into my roots about healing the human health and soil health. And because of my work with the soil and watching things regenerate, I know that that same thing can happen with people. So I'm just really blessed to be part of this community. And I have a couple impact products that echo what the group was saying. The immune product is something that really connected the dots with what I was doing prior in agriculture, because we have a quorum sensing technology, and in farming we were also learning about quorum sensing, and things are backed by epigenetics testing and studies, and that was something also we were doing with soil and health and plant health. And the Purify product is probably my favorite. It has humic shale and fulvic acids, which are some of the key ingredients that I would add to my soil to chelate heavy metals and allow for plants to take up nutrients and absorption. So the amazing thing is we're doing this in the soil, and we're watching life regenerate, and the same thing happens with the humans. And I know that compliantly we can't say anything heals or we can't treat anything, but there are so many parallels and correlations to health, and disease does not exist with health. So once we start regenerating these different processes in our bodies with foundational nutrition, detox, we can start fostering change in our bodies that we can actually feel. And I promise your heart's going to sing the same, and you'll want to share it with everyone.
Absolutely amazing, amazing. It was really exciting for me to hear about this agricultural woman that was on our team who started to educate us on her passion in the soils and how important soil was. And then to hear Dr. Gubler talk about soils. And very excited this past year in Las Vegas, Chanya, the educated farmer and agricultural educated woman that understands all of this, all of it, walked right up to Dr. Gubler and said, we need to have a conversation. And they became instant friends. They became instant friends because they spoke the same language that most of us don't understand. So it's such an honor and a blessing to have somebody of your education and your passion in this, and to say, I've been studying this for so long with the earth. I'm so excited now to have a food source that is a parallel to what you're so passionate about. And so, Chanya, you're such a blessing. I'm so glad that Barb Dadman introduced you to this company, and you've talked about community a few times. I look at these three on the call. I just got goosebumps looking at you guys. You guys have become friends through this industry. We get to talk every day. We work together consistently, and we just want to continue to impact more lives and just make a really big difference. Thank goodness the company, Dr. Dan Gubler and his scientific team, thank goodness they are researching, curating, formulating these products for us so that we can just type it into our computer and get these sent to people that we love and care about, that we know need this for health purposes. So what a great call. Thank you guys. I appreciate you so much. It's an honor to work alongside you. Keep telling your stories. And I know that you've impacted hundreds of people tonight and hundreds of people that are going to see this recording. So everybody, thank you so much. Have a good morning or a good evening. Take care.